Hello, guys. Time is over. You see, what I was telling people recently in our previous video is just happening. During the war in between Israel and Hamas, that's the Palestinian side. We saw President Macron that just landed there in Israel yesterday, and President Biden landed there 2 days ago. So they are almost support to them. The question I'm asking myself is this. Since the terrorists started in the Sahel zone, none of those presidents has ever dared to try to change. The last time I checked, Macron visited in Burkina Faso and ridiculized the president on power, which even happens to abandon Macron in the hall with the students and step aside, just because of what Macron told him that he can't be the president in charge of electricity in the Faso. That was so tough. Now, I don't know whether the Western are just being divided in the situation of Israel and Palestine, or they just want to come as they usually do, create conflict, war, separation of countries, killings of innocent citizens, and they always appear as those who are there to settle down things, meanwhile they are in the origins of everything. You remember the speech of the president of Colombia at the 76th, 78th edition of the General Assembly at the United Nations, United States of America, New York precisely. Listen to the speech of the president of Colombia. So guys, listen to it please.
Getting to bring an end to the other war because for these powers, this did not suit them. What is the difference between Ukraine and Palestine, I ask? Is it not time to bring an end to both wars and other wars too, and make the most of the short time we have to build paths to save life on the planet? As President of Colombia, this country of beauty, of a group of humanity, millions of workers, women and men from popular neighborhoods, indigenous people, Afro-descendants, people from the fields, workers, young people of all colors. I'm the president these people decided to elect in the majority, and I'm here to speak before you. And I propose bringing an end to this war so that we have time to save ourselves. I propose that the United Nations should hold, as soon as possible, 2 peace conferences, one on Ukraine, the other on Palestine. Not because there are no other wars in the world, as there are in my country, but because this would guide the way to making peace in all regions of the planet. Because both of these alone can bring an end to the hypocrisy as a political practice. Because we could be sincere, a virtue without which we cannot be warriors for life itself. The generation which today must decide and must act as soon as possible to overcome the enormous hurricane which has been unleashed against life from the dark but powerful forces of greed, the hurricane of capital, which only looks to profit and which has swallowed up the planet and the very foundation of our...
Listen very well. The globalists, those who finance the war, cravings is that which leads them, whom they have swallowed the war, with their selfish benefit. It earlier comes to what I told you people in the previous video. When you see people like Emmanuel Macron, he don't act because he like. He's obeying just orders. His recent speech addressing to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, he said on it, Russia is trying to destabilize the world order by creating his own and destabilizing his neighbor or Europe. Guys, reason with me. What do we understand by the world order? It means there are some specific orders coming from above. Who are those above? Trying to lead 7 billion people. No one can have that brain to lead the world. Yes. Because I think that his nation were really dependent the way they said it. Sovereignty of nations should be by allowing them to do whatever pleases them with their citizens. Reason why they divided the nations from the beginning. So that each and every group of people in the name of country or community should be able to monopolize themselves the way they want. Condescendence of countries, like what is happening in Africa, like what they are doing to Africans, is what we are against. Listen to the speech of Dumbuya. He said it. Do not treat us as children. We are not weak or poor. It's only within Africa. Just like what the Western did. They assembled the countries, Western countries, those who believe in their so-called democracy. They unite themselves and make it together. But they want to rule the world. Condescendence is what we are saying no to it. And that's exactly what the Colombian president is saying. Let's continue with it, please. Thank you.
Our existence. I propose bringing an end to war, to defend life from the climate crisis, which is the mother of all crises. This summit has been established to evaluate the targets of the Sustainable Development Goals established by the governments for 2030. It's easy to carry out an assessment. These human development goals will not be achieved. We are far from reaching them. We have moved backwards. The United Nations Human Development Objectives could more simply be called social and environmental justice. Social justice will not be achieved for humanity by 2030, because what we have sown is injustice in our planet. What has been created over these years is injustice. The injustice of putting the vaccine against the deadly virus on the market, concentrating it in rich countries. Latin America saw 30% of COVID deaths, although it makes up only 8% of the world population. Who said that health should be a business and not a right? Millions of older people and others died because the vaccine was traded rather than being a common good of humanity. They failed to deliver on their own promise to finance adaptation to climate change.
You see? Even the roaming virus of corona, so-called corona, because we found with you people, I don't know what is happening. To share it to the whole world, to sell it to the countries who have been interested. They did not. They take it and make it as a business, as a political mileage to the world. Countries who lost in the name of dependence of other countries who are there to produce the vaccine. Guys, you see the world in which we are in? No, reason with me, please. And you heard what it says there. It means that the war is being created by people to destabilize the war so that they shouldn't even try to focalize and know what is happening. But it's over, guys. That's what I'm telling you. It's over. It's over. They need to understand. Time is of excess. It's over. They have lost it. Look at what Biden landed in Israel, and I was trying to say, like Macron, to come and support. What I was even waiting of them was to send jet planes. The same thing they did to Ukraine. That they should send the same thing there. But I was so surprised seeing Biden taking his plane, land there to show his comfort. They have not yet seen it. Yeah. You heard talking of captivities of citizens, American citizens. Really, the US, we know. The president of Colombia is telling us that the UN is supposed to reorganize himself to stabilize the war, which we know that the UN is aware of everything. Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, is aware of everything. The summit in China 2 days ago, he was there. Everything, he's always present, but doing nothing. You know why? Let me tell you, people. The United Nations budget is $3 billion. Meanwhile, the US Army budget is $700 billion. How on earth, for crowd not loud, can 3 billion solve the problem? Can 3 billion solve even 0.075%
Goodbye.
of the problem caused by $700 billion? Guys, come on. What do these people take us on? What do they really take us for? The budget of the United Nations is $3 billion. US that has invaded the whole world in the name of world, I mean, it's $700 billion. And you want to take 3 billion and solve 700 million? Oh God. No, now. Listen to him, please. The speech haven't yet finished.
They do not have $100 billion to give to countries to defend themselves from floods, storms, and hurricanes. But they do have that money in a single day to allow Russians and Ukrainians to kill one another. Now we no longer need $100 billion. We need $3 trillion to overcome the climate crisis. And the clock is ticking. Ladies and gentlemen, injustice has been sown. And cannabis growers and coca growers have been arrested rather than tackling the solitude in which the youth of their own countries live. These countries are the greatest economic and military power in the history of humanity. To combat this solitude, they have moved on to the drugs of death, to fentanyl. They wanted a war against the drugs of the rebellious youth who opposed the war in Vietnam, the marijuana and the LSD of the hippies. And they ended up driving their society towards the drug of neoliberalism and competition, the drug of the Manhattan yuppie, cocaine. And they imprisoned millions of Africans and Latin Americans in cold, private prisons. And 1 million Latin Americans were killed. Democracies were destroyed in our America. But they never arrested the Manhattan yuppie. And now they are facing the grand outcome of the prohibition of drugs, fentanyl, which is not killing 4,000, but 100,000 young people every year in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, they sowed injustice. And the worst of these has been to condemn humanity to war. So today, the balance of social justice across the world is so skewed. The problem is that this was not an issue of socialists, of progressives. Rather, it was a matter where the time left to the planet was flowing away. As President of the Country of Beauty, I propose returning to a time of simplicity to recover the time lost. So ending the war and reforming the global financial system. From the conferences, the peace conferences on Ukraine and Palestine, we should come out able to build a reform that we have already discussed in the Amazon forest, where the greatest river of the earth, which has crossed the greatest jungle of the earth, reaches the sea. We had discussed this in Brasilia, and we went to Kenya to meet with the brotherly peoples of Africa, where we came from at the time of one of the other great injustices of power, slavery.
Slavery. You see, when you talk about the civilization that started in Africa, precisely in Egypt, and that's what the Colombian president is talking about. They should end the war. We cannot end what we haven't started. We should put an end to this. It means they know the foundation. They know where it started. They know the deep state who are sitting and masterminding all that is to happen in the name of provoking the Third World War. But guys, there is no doubt the speech is very clear for each and everyone to understand. If that wasn't to create the Third World War, they wouldn't have been arming Ukraine every day, arming Ukraine, just the same way they are arming Hamas to attack on Israel, so Israel can in return invade so that the war should break there. Because if you have been following this very well, you will notice that Iran has won Israel already. And we both know what Iran can do, no matter how they haven't yet started. Israel will start screaming. Yes. Guys, I'm not hoping for, and God forbid of what I would just say. The Third World War is closer. We need to be very careful, guys. That's what the deep state is trying to do. That's what the Western, yes, that's what the Western want. That's what the lobbies in America, the Western lobbies, that's what they want. We need to be wise. I know they have failed. They're seeing themselves to be sink, but they don't want to go down alone. They want to take the war along with them. Because they know already that the world power has been lost. It's a lost battle to them. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for watching till the end. Share it as soon as possible. I will give you the clear indication and the level where the war is within Palestine and Israel tomorrow. The next video I will do tomorrow is to show you the level where it is and what is happening actually. Thanks for your time. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Take care. It was nice having you guys.
We went to Paris to see whether multitudes there were still crying for liberty, equality, and fraternity.
Thank you very much.